improved a ton from spring till now. And look, I hate it for him first, and I hate it for us as a team, because he was really, he's really coming around. So, it's just, but that's one of those things that we got to adapt to, and it is what it is. And now we got to move on. I'll open it up to questions.
Tim, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. That's obviously, tough news for Jeff, and now you guys are going to have to rely on some other guys. Just maybe your confidence level with Fatu, if he's one of those guys that you kind of lean on a little bit more, just how he's progressed and how ready he is maybe to step into that moment, in his rookie season.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's been working hard, and he's really quietly has really improved. He's another guy from spring, has just quietly had a good spring and a good camp. And so, yeah, he's probably, there's a good chance he's the next guy up. But look, we've got two other young guys too, Bobby Price and Jacobs. So we're going to put the best combination out there and see where we go. But listen, it's next man up. And we said that from day one. It doesn't matter who's in there. All that matters is who's in there does what they're asked to do and do it the very best that they can do it.
Thanks, Dan.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, you got some background noise here. It just started pouring. But beyond Iffy, what else can you do in the secondary? Do you need to add a vet at some point, or is there something else you can do for insurance purposes?
Well, certainly we need to add someone just to help us on the overall roster, even from a practice standpoint. So we're looking into that. Brad's looking into it, and that's coming. That'll probably be sooner than later, but it'll be somebody that's going to help us just overall depth for sure.
But you like the young guys that you have there, I guess. I mean, you think that's enough to start, even with a big challenge like Rodgers coming up this week?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, it's there again. The guys that are still here are the guys that we like, and the only way they're going to get better is if they play.
And the other question I have for you was just, after you watch the film, Panay, thoughts on him. I know you said yesterday, and I think most people agreed that on first glance he looked pretty good. What'd you see watching him back on film today?
Yeah, I thought he did a good job. I thought he held his own. There was a couple of plays in there where he got beat. Bosa got him on a bull on one, but I thought he did a good job. He went over there and he fought, and he held up for us, and that was very encouraging to see. And when you get in games like that and you kind of forget about your left tackle, that's a good thing. Now we had a good plan in place to help those guys the chips, nudges, and bumps, and all those things. And that certainly helps a little bit. But I thought that O-line overall did a good job, because I don't know if everybody noticed it, but, San Francisco does a great job of rolling in 4 new D linemen. Once they hit a 6-play sequence or something, they roll in fresh rushers. And, we got to where we had to throw it there at the end of the game. I think at one point 20 in a row or 21 in a row, whatever that is. That's not easy on your O-line. They did an outstanding job.
Thank you.
Yep.
Kyle?
Hey, Dan. I guess Panay was good enough that the biggest question I'm seeing from fans today is, what you do when Taylor comes back, whether you leave Panay at left tackle or move him back to right. I know you've kind of addressed this before, but could you just give us some insight into what your thinking is there at this point?
Yeah, Kyle, I would love to entertain that, but man, we're so far away from that right now. We're just, how do we put the best lineup out there for Green Bay right now? And, we'll worry about that when Decker comes back. But right now, I know that we feel good with Sewell being at left. And, we asked him to move over there, and he accepted the challenge, did well. And we're going to need another good performance out of him, because these guys, they've got some good players over there as well, good rushers.
And just one more on the offensive line. Jonah Jackson was in on a couple of touchdowns with big blocks on the DeAndre Swift touchdown, on the Jamal Williams touchdown. Just, what do you think of his performance?
Look, I thought it was a good day one debut for him, season 2. I think he's what we hoped he would be. Now, I'll say this, we hold him to high standards. Because he's somebody that we really think the sky's the limit. And so he was good enough to win with, but he can be better and will be better. But I was pleased there again. I think the whole unit really did a hell of a job, and he held his own in there. There's a couple that got on him, but overall, I thought he was really good in space. He was good in pro. He was good in the run game, and it's something you can build off of.
Thanks, Dan.
Yep.
Justin.
Hey, Dan, I think we all understand kind of the physical road Jeff has back, but I wanted to ask about the mental approach to it. This is a guy that put in a lot of work, as you mentioned, this spring and summer, and he doesn't get to see the fruits of those labors. So what do you say to a young guy like that ended first season on injured reserve, didn't maybe get all of what he had in year one, and now year two, he doesn't get to, barely show anything?
Yeah, look, it's tough. And as somebody who was injured a lot as a player, I think it's the hardest thing is to you're in the training room again. And I think what you got to be careful of is that you don't let it bring you down, and you don't let it ruin your day, and you don't sulk about it, because ultimately it's the hand you're dealt. And what are you going to do? You can either feel sorry for yourself or feel bad about it. And I put in all this work. Well, you know what? His whole focus, and it's what I'm going to tell him. I haven't seen him yet. I know we're going to talk this afternoon. I texted him last night. We talked. Is about what are you going to do to prepare yourself for next year? That's going to be my whole conversation with him, is that your sole focus has got to be on 2022. And how do I get back from this? And we'll have this surgery, and then everything's got to be about the rehab again, because there's no other way to treat it. There's no other way to react about it. It's the only way he's going to get better.
And then when you were reviewing the film today, was there anything that looked significantly different, good or bad, versus what you thought about it coming directly out of the game?
No, I mean, it goes without saying. I just there's still things that it's everything that you guys know, that we know. I would say no. There's nothing that surprised me. There's so many little details to the game on both sides of the ball, even from alignment to what they did to us schematically, to the way we aligned. Man, we weren't moving the front or clipping the front the way we should have. Our gap responsibilities were not where they need to be. Offensively, our route depth, just all the little things, man, that go with playing this game, we've got to clean up. But the positive is that if we just clean those up, now let's see where we stand. It's one thing you've done all the little things right, and then you lose the game. But let's see what it looks like when we do all the little things right. I'd be willing to bet we're probably going to win that game.
Thanks,
or a game, I should say. We got ourselves in a hole yesterday. Self-inflicted wounds.
Coach Eric Woodyard here. I just want to ask you about the receivers. We made so much talk about it, going into the season, but your first impressions of those receivers and a guy like Amon-Ra, you saw putting the work in, his first rookie debut, and all these guys. What were your thoughts on them? Like, just them bonding with Jared Goff? I mean, we saw a lot of what Hockenson can do, but what do they need to do to get better going into week 2?
Well, I'd start with this. I thought they did an admirable job of fighting their ass off, because we really lost Tyrell there at the end of the game. I mean, he didn't play, into the fourth quarter. And so we were down to 4, and those guys were kind of rotating, trying to help each other out. So they got high in reps, which is why we train the way we train. And they fought through it. Now, we made some plays, but we didn't make enough to win the game. We're just, look, we Amon-Ra did a good job, but it was Amon-Ra's first NFL football game against, a very good team, good defense. And so he's no different than all those other guys. I mean, it's something to build off of. I thought he really competed. I thought he fought. There's just so many little details to it. He's got to clean up in his game, and so does Cephas. And, and really so does all of those guys. Benson, Trinity just walked in the door, and we had him out there playing, and look, he fought too and did a good job with just giving us a chance, but there's so many things that he can be better at that we need to help him with. You know, like I say, just flipping terminology, helping him with splits, all those things. He'll be better just having been here for another week. And so it's just, we got to clean up the details. That's all. But we can build off of it.
Dave, last one.
Just a real quick follow, Dan, since you mentioned Tyrell, is he in concussion protocol, or how do you come out with that game yesterday, obviously?
Yeah, he's in concussion protocol.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Great. Thanks, guys.
All right.